It's that time of the year where we celebrate the work that we have done. My name is Thandulwethu Zimba and I am the Language and Writing Consultant, Student Assistant and the Program Director for the day. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we were unable to celebrate in style as we usually do. So for now, we'll just have to settle for going digital. Right now, we'll be moving to our next part of the program, which is the reflections from our peer facilitators. The first person on the program will be Ms. Karenza Moodley, who is the student assistant for the Language and Writing Advancement Program. After her will be Mr. Gindani Jonasse, who will share with us what his experience has been in the eLab program. And then shortly after that, Ms. Bridget Marzonge will be joining us to tell us about her reflections during the time she was the SI student assistant.
Greetings to all. My name is Karenza Moodley and I'm a student assistant in the Language and Writing Advancement Program. The strength of our team arises from my colleagues from both East London and Alice campus. And we will be sharing our voice of feedback with regards to the program of 2020. From my perspective, working at the Language and Writing Centre has been a phenomenal experience. Being part of the teaching and learning family, I've gained more than just a job experience. I learned a lot through interaction with students and situations that they found challenging. The joy of facilitation is that it eases the classroom tension between a lecturer and a student. During facilitations, students feel comfortable and engage in conversations regarding academic writing, rather than being intimidated through their assessments. As a facilitator, I've learned that peer facilitation allows a student to fully explain and voice their areas of concern and not hide their uncertainties in fear of being judged or seem undermined. Committing to any duty takes hard work and dedication, as well as passion. It is an extreme passion to be an assistant to students. I was once in the position of being unaware of what academic writing is, and I'm still not perfect. But through LWAP, I've learned more about the program, improved my own writing abilities, and found comfort in knowing that a student left the session confident about their academic writing. It is utterly important to aim to spread the name of LWAP throughout the university, as it is noticed that academic writing is a high concern for the majority of students. Starting from first year, it should be implemented that all students attend academic writing sessions, as it is the platform and basis to a well-constructed assignment and research, and this paves way to a smoother studying experience. Academic writing is forever. From first year all the way to becoming a professor, it is the mutual language of academia and should be instilled in students from day one. The team would like to thank the program, as well as our facilitators, Ms. Viallo and Dr. Florence, along with the TLC department for their guidance, love and passion in making the learning experience worthwhile. We hope to continue and spread the word of the program for many more students to benefit and to experience a seamless academic journey. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gindani Jonasse. I am a senior student assistant at the Teaching and Learning Center. I assist with the learning programs that are offered at the Teaching and Learning Center. I'm here to talk about the Extended Learning Environment Program, which is also known as the eLab program. Now, this program was first piloted in 2019 with the aim of extending academic support and development to outside of the classroom into non-classroom areas. Now, this idea was born out of the need to, if the students cannot come to the classroom, then the classroom must be taken to the students. Now, this necessitated a need to convert student residences into learning areas instead of just living areas. Now, there was a need now the hope is that this will encourage students to socially interact, to collaborate more, and most importantly, as a form of community formation will also arise from this. This will emanate from the fact that the students are living together, they are learning together, and they are also attending classes together. Right? Now you will find that you will have one lecturer, for example, for 300 students. And now the program was introduced so that they could bridge the gap between the students and the lecturer. Now, practically, you may ask yourself, how will this program work? There is a senior student who a trained senior student for that matter, living at the residences known as the res body. Now this senior student has been trained to facilitate this module, and these sessions that this senior student is facilitating are held weekly at a time that is determined by the student and the res body himself or herself. These sessions are voluntary and they are free, and it is up to the students to enroll for these sessions. Now the hope is that, like I said, these sessions will reap some sort of academic benefits for the students. There will be a sort of social connectedness that would also be born out of all of this, in the sense that these students are living in the same residences, they are attending the same classes, and they are also living together. So the hope is that there will be a social connectedness that will come out of this, while also ensuring that the students are also excelling academically as well.
Greetings to the University of Fort Hare stakeholders. A special mention goes to the TLC family. My name is Bridget Marzonge, a student assistant for the Supplemental Instruction Program at the Alice campus. 2020 has been indeed a hectic, challenging academic year. And through dedication, hard work, and patience, we have conquered it all. Being a student assistant has mostly been a pleasure, thanks to the guidance and mentoring of my consultants, assistance of my partner Usli, and the cooperation of the SI leaders at large. They all made my job easy to do. SI leaders faced a number of stumbling blocks with having to switch from contact sessions and consultations to working online. The change was all new, and adapting to it hasn't been easy. Facilitators had to balance between performing well in their own studies, as well as being available to help the students that they have been assigned to. And I am proud to say that even through those stumbling blocks, the SI leaders did an exceptional job and brought back great results. Thank you to the TLC department for giving us all this opportunity of being part of such an important program in the university. As we kickstart the 2021 academic year, I wish everyone a successful and fruitful year. Thank you.
From the number of reflections that we've received from our consultants, or should I say our peer facilitators, it is clear that it has been quite a year. Now, the programs that are housed in the TLC are led by a number of coordinators. Now, I'll be giving a chance to them to reflect on how the program has been in the 2020 academic year, as well as to hand out certificates to their peer facilitators. The first speaker on my program to give reflections from the coordinators will be Ms. Vuyelwa Dondolo, who is the coordinator for the Language and Writing Advancement Program in the East London campus. Following her will be Ms. Nolutando Mayapi, who is the coordinator for the SI program as well as ELAB. Lastly, Ms. Khanyisa Mabece, who is the coordinator for SI program as well as ELAB, will also give a reflection on the 2020 academic year.
Good afternoon. My name is Vuyelwa Dondolo. I work at the Teaching and Learning Center as a teaching and learning consultant. Under the TLC, I work for the facilitation pivot, which has several student development programs, but the one that I'm in charge of is the Language and Writing Advancement Program. The Language and Writing Advancement Program, just to give you a bit of background, is responsible for equipping students and endorsing academic literacies. That is, we assist students with academic writing skills, study skills, and getting them up to date with the culture of the university. The program is designed for students at all levels of studying, first year to honors to masters, because we review manuscripts on how to structure an assignment, how do you paraphrase, how do you use direct quoting, and different referencing styles. We have several different referencing styles here at the university. So this program here at the University of Fort Hare, it's called RUP, That's how we abbreviate it. Other universities have different names. They have named it differently. However, this type of work of academic literacy has been endorsed, studied, researched by international scholars. And we have the support of research that says that we need academic literacy programs in the university, and the TLC caters for that. So in this program, I had 7 facilitators, peer facilitators that I call them language and writing consultants, that have worked hard in 2020. And with the restrictions of COVID-19, it was difficult for them at the beginning. However, they have made it through the hardships, and they persevered through the trainings, the development, and the requests, the consultations, the assignment reviews. It was a peculiar year. However, they had that spirit within themselves to work extra hard and to learn. The key thing was to learn and unlearn some areas on development. I'm very proud of them. I wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors. We had some major achievements. Some consultants wrote narratives of experiences for a writing center journal, so be on the lookout for that. We'll be briefing you on the results for that, so we're waiting for the journal to give us feedback on how they did. Other consultants wrote pieces of narratives for the TLC newsletter detailing their experiences working with online learning, because we have moved to the digital space, and the skills that they have learned, they will use in their future endeavors wherever they work, whether private or public. I am very proud of them. I admire their courage. I admire their work ethic, and those that will be returning this year, we look forward to working with you. Dr. Mudewe and I will be working with you closely this year, and the ones that won't be joining us, thank you so much for your work and your dedication, and we wish you the best of luck for future projects. And this time I will be awarding the peer facilitators, the language and writing advancement program consultants, their certificates of duties for 2020. The first person that will be getting an award is Ms. Karen Zamukhi, who was a student assistant and my assistant as well. The next person is Sisi Pomoti. And the only gentleman in the group, Nkosiyethu Halalisani Kulu, Gugutom, Juliet Mukumbi, Thokozani Sitole, and Kanyisa Twani. Those were the 2020 language and writing consultants for the East London campus. The next group that I will be awarding is on behalf of Dr. Florence Mudewe, who is the LUAP coordinator for the Alice campus. So these are the Alice LWCs. The first one is Thandolwethu Zimba, who was the student assistant to Dr. Florence Mudewe Gonovi. Vuyokazi Bacela, Asanda Makaula, Ayanda Manyonta, Apiwe Mpompo, Nyasha Muriva, Tebisakati, Anati Souma, Dennis Kaima, Zamavuso Chazi, Themba Lethu Taine, Kamva Lethu Chayingwe, Siyavuyisana Nagwa, Gerald Sikhumbuzo, Nuzana, Noluthabo Wawa, and Winile Daza. Dr. Florence Mudewe thanks you for your services.
My name is Noluthando Tandimayapi. I am a teaching and learning consultant on the East London campus. I am responsible for student academic support and development programs. Amongst the programs I'm running is the Supplemental Instruction Program, which is known as SI. I'm also responsible for the Extended Learning Environment Program, which is ELAB, and I'm based on the East London. Today marks a very important day as we are closing the curtain, where our peer facilitators that has joined us in the academic year of 2020 are parting ways with us, and saying goodbye is never an easy thing. If one reflects and look at the 2020 academic year, it was not an easy year, not an easy journey for a young and newly appointed cohort of 2020 senior students who joined us, at a critical time when first year students of 2020 were joining us. In March, we were hit hard by the invisible enemy known as the COVID-19 pandemic. We were all caught off guard, and that happened immediately after the initial training that we took our peer facilitators through, and we were sort of faced with this mammoth task of transitioning from a face-to-face mode of delivery and to a digital space. I'm sure, looking at my age and having to embark on a new journey where I had to shift from a face-to-face model, to a digital, it was not easy, but one had to do it drastically. And by doing so, we were not going to fold our hands and sit back and say, the programs were not going to be fast-tracked. We had to think hard, and thank God, when you are surrounded by young people, vibrant minds, young people with energy, and who themselves are digitally savvy, I was able to embrace the change, as a digital, how can I say, a digital foreigner. And through transitioning from face-to-face to Blackboard Ultra, a lot of things I also had to grapple with, but because of my students who do not fear the digital space, I find myself catching up. And we also opted for the WhatsApp platform to undertake and facilitate learning. And we were doing all of this under the umbrella and the call that was made by the Minister of Higher Education early when we were hit by the outbreak of the COVID, of not leaving any student behind. So everything that we were doing was driven under that slogan of not leaving anyone behind. There were a number of challenges that we faced in terms of network issues, data provision, even in terms of geographical location. As you know, after the president called for a total shutdown, students had to leave and go home. So it was a struggle knowing that even Forte is located in rural settings, and even the students that we are working with, the profile of students, they are also coming from rural settings. So it was a challenge, but nevertheless, I am glad to announce today, when we go through our statistics from the time that was March up until March this year, as the year is ending, we managed to service over 18,000 students digitally, both the Alice campus and the East London campus when we are combining the statistics. So for me, that is very comforting, and also to acknowledge the hard work that these young people who are driving learning on the digital spaces. As I was saying, today is a very special day. We are conferring and honoring our students who have been the foot soldiers during this hard time while they had to grapple with their own studies, and some of them on the verge of completing their postgraduate qualification and undergraduate qualification, but they were able, to balance work and studies. So today we are saying to them, you all deserve a golden badge, equally so, because you've been amazing. You've been an anchor in a sinking, so to speak, ship. and you kept us afloat. And we could rely and we could count on you. As Miss V said earlier on, there were times where we would call you, during ungodly hours because things had to be done. And reports had to be submitted. Statistics had to be submitted. So I'm very pleased today to call you heroes of the 2020 academic year, the heroes of the TLC. Without you, the flag of the TLC wouldn't have flown the flag up high. But today, through you, even the institution, the University of Fort Hare, I'm sure wherever the VC is and the DVC AA, they would feel indebted, towards you for the work that you have done. So with that token of appreciation and going digitally and saying we won't be silent, regardless of us not having a face-to-face, as you know, we would go all out and we would flaunt, the TLC goes big, when we do our thing. But today we are unable, we go digital and we recognize the work that you've done. So keep shining the flag of the University of Fort Hare wherever you are. You have acquired so many skills during this time. Amongst, if I can think of the CAF, is resilience, courage in turbulent times, having to learn strong communication skills, when times were not allowing and resources were not there, but you still made it. And you also had to work independently without being with your peers, as you would have worked when we're doing the face-to-face mode of learning. And amongst other things was also to be trustworthy, accountable, because you knew at the end of the day you have to account to your supervisors and bring in those reports and give in narratives of what is happening on those digital spaces. So thank you very much. I know some of you even use their own data. I mean, guys, we shouldn't be shy about that. These young people went the extra mile to make sure that the work of the TLC is done at the end of the day. So Wunju, Titi Pambili Makobo Kazana Nani Makobo, Sianitanda, and Zeni Kubekeke, Mrs. Bane, Ninyusa iflag, Kano College, Inyuke Ibabe, Iepambili, Halala. Before Ndivale, Ndicela ubulela also my colleagues from both campuses, because we needed each other so much. Going on digital and not being able to see one another in offices. So I would call, if I get stuck online, I would call my colleague on the East London campus, I would call Alice campus colleague. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you to the TLC management. Also, for us to be able to record this, we had to ask some funding so that, the quality even of this production is at this level. Thank you so much, TLC management. And overall, thank you to all our peer facilitators across programs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the student assistants, thank you so much. I'll start by conferring a certificate of competence to Gindani Jonasse, Bridget Billion, Atinkosi, Ngandu. All three of them were student assistants on the East London campus. The next one will be going to Esona Chaki, Tandile Simelela, Litola Chikose, Asemahle Simanga, Awonke Dasi, Nebakazi Khozani, Oyama Kyalibongo, Nonkanyiso Zinya, Melissa Jebe, Fumanani Lesisa, Charity Chiwese, Nyasha Sakarombe, Azukwa Mavuso, and Munashe Mapfungawutsi. And now the next on my list will be certificates that goes to ILEP Res Buddies. The first one is going to Maketa Mushweshwe. Siposetu Matyu, Mbali Kumalo, Luyanda Ngo, Sikokele Vivashe, and the last but not least goes to Luzuko Dazela. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to the University Management, the TLC Director, the TLC Manager, colleagues and students. A special greeting to the TLC Facilitators. I am Khanyisa Mabete, a consultant at the Teaching and Learning Center on the Alice campus. I am also a coordinator of the Supplemental Instruction Program and the Extended Learning Environment Program, both on the Alice campus. The year 2020 has been a challenging year in all spheres of life for all of us, but our facilitators were able to make the best of it when it comes to the amazing work that they do. In the midst of a pandemic, they were able to hold close to 500 sessions and 900 one-on-one consultations. And for that, I would like to say thank you. Thank you because it speaks about your resilience and the due diligence that you are doing in your work. Thank you to the Raise Buddies. I know we met once in 2019 for interviews, but when you started the work, you took the baton and you ran with it. To my facilitators, actually my returning SI leaders, I want to say thank you for being able to mentor the new ones. To my returning SI leaders again, thank you for not giving up. To my student assistants, thank you so much. I wouldn't have done anything without you. We survived because of you. To conclude, I just want to remind you about all of the skills that you have learned while you were with us. Time management skills, critical thinking skills, the ability to speak openly and truthfully. Take that with you wherever you go. Thank you so much. I would like to confer certificates to the following facilitators: Bridget Marzonge and Silindoguhle Hlopekazi for being my student assistants for the Supplemental Instruction Program. I will now be calling out my Supplemental Instruction leaders, starting with Anam Jebe, Anelisiwe Luti, Bomikazi Nkoyi, Ignatius Lowe, John Osungule, Kumbarai Takawira, Liberty Chuduke, Linda Sinyanya, Luko Goso, Malaki Wenamba, Nombalenhle Maxam, Noxolo Mdedelwa, Ngabatyali, Phila Matyeni, Philani Miende, Precious Mobondi, Prosper Sibanda, Sibulele Nyanga, Simangele Mngonywa, Sipokazi Mhlaba, Sianda Plaiki, Sinazo Peter, Tariro Mafakarera, Siphelele Maxam. I will now take this opportunity to read out my Raise Buddies. Starting with Maureen Mfana and Ronald Mibarigi. They have both been my assistants. And then we have Maxman Gomo, Maldase Mutanda, Sunom Tamadonono, Avuya Mdengwa, and Toza Madondolo. Thank you.
Unfortunately, it is that time of the day where we have to say goodbye and close our ceremony. Now we'll have one of our consultants, Mr. Natunati Mvunge, who will give us the vote of thanks. But before I hand over to him, I would like to please remind you guys to like and subscribe this video and follow us on our social media pages, which is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you very much for allowing me to be your host and watching the video. Till next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. My name is Natunati Mvunge, a TLC consultant based on the Alice campus. Today it gives me pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event. I would like to thank the Facilitation Pivot for organizing this event. It was the first of its kind, and I'm happy to say that everything went well, obviously with the assistance of the TLC management. Thank you. Thank you to the institutional advancement, in particular, Ms. Maiponi, Mr. Tim, and Mr. Sibusi Sotwala, in assisting us as the TLC in making the event a success. To the program director, Ms. Thandulwethu Zimba, and the speakers, thank you for availing yourselves. The time you have spent in preparing your speeches and coming to campus, that time you will never get back in your life, and for that we are eternally grateful. Last but not least, I would like to thank our 2020 facilitators for being the best. May the good Lord be with you in your future endeavors, and all the best. I thank you. Siyabulela. Bayadanki.